Hi everybody, it's Amy from Temple Seeker here, and today I'm really excited to give you the lowdown on Casablanca. Morocco is one of my all-time favourite countries to travel to, and I'm going to wait up and let you know a few of the pros and cons and how to do it in the best way. So most people travel to Casablanca to see Hassan II Mosque, which is absolutely phenomenal. And it's totally worth a visit to Casablanca just to see that mosque. But what I'm going to tell you about Casablanca is that you don't really need 2 or 3 or 4 days. 1 day is more than enough. Casablanca does not have as many sites as Marrakesh and as the capital city of Rabat in Morocco. What I would recommend that you do is have a base in Marrakesh or Rabat and then just do Casablanca as a day trip. And I'll run through how to see the main highlights of Casablanca in 1 day for you now. I came into Casablanca by train. There is a warning that comes with this, which is make sure you arrive early and ignore all the taxi touts at Casablanca station. It's absolutely horrible when you come out of Casablanca station, especially if you come out on the right hand side. They're like vultures, if I'm honest. It's absolutely awful. So go out the left hand side and make sure that you walk past the main row of taxis and then walk into another street and get a taxi there, because they're the more authentic ones. They're less likely to rip you off, and they need to put on the meter as well. If they don't put the meter on, tell them. Casablanca is horrendous for this. I'm sorry, but it really, really is. If you only have 1 day in Casablanca, how should you spend it? Well, the first thing that you should do is go to Mohammed V Square. This is one of the most famous central squares in Casablanca. It's full of important buildings, including, I think it's the post office, the Royal Bank. There's also the Palace of Justice, and there's a big fountain in the middle with pigeons. Don't let people put pigeon food in your hand, by the way. You're going to pay a ridiculous price if you do. But have a look around that square, get some photography done, and then head to the gorgeous Arab League Park. Now, that should really only take about an hour and a half, because you want to have a look around and get a few photos. And then after that, head straight to the mosque. So jump in a taxi from either Arab League Park or Mohammed V Square. Get yourself to Hassan II Mosque early-ish if you can, and then get yourself your combined ticket for the mosque and the museum. Spend about 3 hours there. From the mosque, walk round the seafront to Rick's Cafe, and Rick's Cafe is the cafe or the restaurant that remembers the film Casablanca. If you've ever seen it, it's a good film, really lovely. It kind of heightens or glorifies Casablanca a little bit. Casablanca itself is not now like you would see in the film. In fact, I don't think it was even filmed there, if I'm honest. But the cafe is gorgeous and the food is amazing. I had this really gorgeous duck with potatoes and a lovely sauce. I think that my mum had some fish or some lamb. It was really, really nice, and the meal cost about £45 each, which, although on the pricey side, for the quality of the food that you get, it's actually really, really good value. Now, the important thing about Rick's Cafe is that you do need to book in advance. If you turn up and knock on the door, they're probably going to send you away. So you need to phone ahead of time or do what I did, which was email. You may have time after you come out of Rick's to explore the Medina. And then what I would recommend for the evening is that you jump in another taxi and you head down to the Corniche. Get yourself a nice cocktail and make sure you watch the Moroccan sunset. So that's the best way to spend a day in Casablanca. I wanted to talk a little bit more about Hassan II Mosque in Casablanca. It's a relatively modern mosque. Well, it was actually built fairly recently in 1993, and they actually spent €585 million on it. It's really phenomenal inside. Don't miss it. You don't need to cover your head as a woman if you don't want to. You should make sure that you dress modestly and make sure that you're prepared to take off your shoes to go inside. And when you go to the mosque, make sure that you go downstairs, because there is a fountain hall for the ritual hand washing, the wudu, but it's beautiful. You need to go down there, you need to get your photos. And also what I would recommend that you do when you visit this mosque is that you buy the combined ticket, which includes not only the mosque but also the museum as well. Because in that museum, you've got quite a few different artifacts. You've got pieces of religious art with Arabic calligraphy. You've got some of the original designs and plans for the mosque, interesting pieces on how they built it, and also wood carvings as well. So it's definitely worth going to see both. I think that the ticket when I paid, which was this year, was only 130 dirham for the actual mosque. But the combined ticket for the mosque and the museum was about 140 or 150. So it's not actually that much more, and it's well worth it. Now, finally, I need to share my real feelings about Casablanca. Can I be brutally honest? I'm sorry, but I just didn't like it. Now, we had originally planned 3 days in Casablanca. I think we left after 2. Maybe we planned 4, but left after 2 actually. Where can I start with Casablanca? It's chaotic. The traffic is crazy. When we checked into our hotel, I'm not going to name and shame this hotel, but even when we moved into the room, the walls all smelt of paint and there were bugs and lots of things were broken in the room. And this was actually supposed to be quite a nice hotel. It wasn't the cheapest. What we should have done is booked somewhere on the Corniche. We should have just gone for the Four Seasons or something like that. I was with my mum. I wasn't on my own. So I don't know why I was a little bit stingier on the budget. That was a mistake. I've mentioned the taxis. The taxi drivers in Casablanca are horrendous. They're like vultures. They're so money grabbing. It is horrible to try to negotiate this. When you do get in the taxi, sometimes there's other people in the taxi or getting in with you, which is weird. And then there's the seatbelt problem. They're pretty much non-existent. The roads are very bumpy. There are the motorbike bag snatchers, which thankfully we did not experience, but somebody made us aware of it, so we knew to avoid walking around with our handbags at night. The Medina, I didn't really go in. I just generally didn't feel very safe. I kept getting ripped off for stupid stuff like Maltesers and Coke, when you'd pay like 8 or 9 quid for that, and the Maltesers had already melted and then rehardened in the fridge. What is all this about? So let me tell you, get in Casablanca, see the mosque, I can't even talk now. See the mosque, go to Rick's Cafe and get out. I changed my plans to include Rabat. Rabat was not originally on my itinerary, but when we found out how much of Casablanca was a bit chaotic, we changed our plans. We added 2 days to Rabat. We loved Rabat so much that we added Rabat on again for an extra night at the end of the trip. So please don't be discouraged what I've just said. Remember that Casablanca is a port city. It has a lot of immigration. It has a lot of crime. Just be aware of these things. Keep yourself safe. Don't go to, dark alleys at night time in Casablanca. Just be aware of everything and see, as I say, the main sites and then move on, because Morocco is beautiful. Please, please, please do not go to Casablanca as maybe on a cruise and it's a stop off, or as your only destination in Morocco, because Casablanca is not a true reflection of how beautiful, how wonderful, how vibrant Morocco is as a travel destination. Casablanca does not do Morocco justice. Get yourself to Marrakesh, get yourself to Rabat, get yourself to the coast somewhere really nice like Essaouira. I don't mean to slate it and say don't go. I think you should go. But as I say, you go for a day, plan your day, and get out.